I can't even do that with like a straight face. And to be honest, like personally for me, horror movies, I can't stand them. Like even like thrillers that have like jump scares and stuff like that. Like I am a gigantic pussy when it comes to that, and I can't sleep for like a couple of weeks. There was a movie that came out like Hereditary. Oh my god, like it wasn't that scary, and you know it was a good movie. If you're into like the horror genre, the thriller genre, you should definitely check it out. But my god, I couldn't sleep like 2-3 weeks. It was like nuts. So I can't handle my horror movies. But in any event, this is 1-800-LAWYER-UP from FormalFocus.com, and this is my fifth secret public diary entry. To begin, I am indeed a lawyer. I crossed the bar in 2018. However, I was lucky enough to make some good investments. I made some money. I no longer have to work. I'm quasi-retired. And according to the Law Society of Alberta, when you are inactive, you cannot give out any legal advice. So these diary entries are strictly for entertainment purposes only. And please, 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 if you are seeking legal advice, find an actively practicing lawyer in your area. Just because, like, my area is different. You know, obviously, everyone who listens to me, I would assume 99.9% of you aren't, like, anywhere near me, so, and the laws differ, you know, across this great earth and planet of ours. So, the subject matter that we have in front of us is dealing with murder convictions, right, and the elements required for a murder. Now, the thing with my last public diary entry, which I found was, it wasn't my best, and that's partially because even though I had an old channel, it was back in the 2000s, and I had my own secret public diary there, and if you can find it, then I will, I don't know, I'll do something good for you. But, I mean, well, actually, I know. There are probably people who watch me who know what my old channel is, so I'm going to wait till, like, maybe video 50 or 100, hopefully when I have a lot more subscribers, and we almost got a dozen fans, so I actually can say the dozens and dozens of you. But yeah, I'll make like a weird thing when I've got more people who know me, and I don't know, I'll make some type of contest to find my old channel or something like that. I don't know, I'll make it kind of cool and fun. In any event, what I realized is that since I've been out of the blogging game or diary entry game for a while, you know, I've been rushing things, you know, I've been setting these ridiculous rules for myself, like I can't re-record, and I'm dealing with very high-level subject matter. Like, the subject matter that I tackled last entry was something that, in a foundations class, which is a first-year required course for all first-year law students, takes about maybe 80% of the semester, and I tried to fit it in, you know, like a 10-14 minute video, and it wasn't fun for me because I had to do a lot of re-edits and I had to break my rule and stuff like that. I usually do these unscripted, which is still true. I only have like 4 points in front of me, but yeah, so what I think I'm gonna do moving forward, just that you know, it's going to be fun for you and fun for me and a little bit more spontaneous and give me a little more flexibility with my time, because hopefully you guys like listening to these, and you know, tell me if you do. You know, one of the dozens, be the brave, like, first commenter, super fan. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take very complicated subject matters and break them down into digestible bits. So, for instance, we've got bloody murder in front of us, and criminal law is one of those things where there are a lot of different parts to it, and, you know, these parts have their own stories and context to them, so in order for me to actually truly do any area of law justice, I actually have to flesh it out even more. So, I'm going to actually break down this diary entry into 4 different entries. So, today we're going to be talking about identity. Episode 2 of the Bloody Murder series, we'll talk about jurisdiction. Episode 3 will be mens rea, which is guilty mind, and then the last one, actus reus, which is guilty action. So, that's the way we're going to do it. It'll be a lot more fun for me, just because I'll have more liberty with my stories and tangents that I can go off of. It'll be a lot more fun for you, since it won't seem like a lecture and I'm talking at you, trying to get all the information out. which isn't legal advice. It's only for entertainment purposes only. Please check with a lawyer in your area, because I know there are people out there that are like insane. I had a professor, and this is one of the tangents. Perfect. And I know I got a lot of time, so I can, talk to you about it. But I actually had a professor who actually got into a little bit of a trouble with the dean, because in class he said, the law isn't to protect people, it's only to protect stupid people. So yes, please don't take a random guy you've never met in real life at gospel, don't take what I say as, fact or anything like that. And I go off on a lot of tangents. I have like ADHD. I'm not like diagnosed or anything like that. I know a lot of people are, and there are a lot of people in law school that are. But the thing is, I want it to be more of a conversation that I have with a friend sitting down at a bar and having a drink. I don't want to be like, I've got information, sit down and listen, right? So I want that liberty. So today's part 1 of Bloody Murder deals with identity. Now, identity is very important, and it's actually extremely important for the defense. When you're defending someone on a very serious murder charge, and murder charges carry like consecutive life sentences, and even the lower charge of like murder 2 or manslaughter is still pretty serious. So one of the first lines of defense is making sure that they're actually pointing the finger at the right person. Like, is your client actually that person? So criminal lawyers, when they have clients who are faced with serious charges, some of their first questions are like, well, the murder in question happened on this time and this date. Where were you? Was anyone with you? Can anyone verify that? Would they be willing to verify that? Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize this, and it's probably, a question in the back of your mind that you think if you were a bad person and thinking about creating like a murderous situation yourself, it's like, well, why don't I just get like one of my close friends to vouch for me, right? Wouldn't that be a lot easier, and I'd get like a really good alibi? Well, the problem with that is aiding and abetting laws in Canada are actually pretty severe. I'm not sure how it is down in the States, since I don't practice down there, or I've never practiced there. And the thing is, in Canada, if you're actually found helping the person committing the act, so it could be beforehand, you could help the guy plan stuff, or afterwards, where he calls you and he needs room in your backyard, and he needs your shovel so you can like bury a dead body. If you're aiding and abetting in that act, even though you actually haven't committed the act yourself, you would be charged with like murder 1, if that was the charge, or manslaughter, or the same exact thing. Even though your involvement, it could be as easy as like 5 seconds. Like if the cops call you and you're harboring your friend, who you have a really good idea has just committed something seriously terrible, and the cops ask you, well, is your friend there? And you say, no, he's not here, and they find out like he actually was, you can actually be charged with murder 1, right? Criminal law wasn't kind of like my forte, so definitely check with a lawyer in your area that's actively practicing to figure out the threshold on that. But my law professor, who was one of the top defense criminal attorneys, kind of a poor man's Harvey Specter when it came to criminal law. He almost even looked like him. He was kind of funny. But yeah, he had a lot of stories. He was a defense lawyer, and very, like, it's kind of funny, like, he was handling like a few serious cases, and like in the morning I'd watch the news, and I'd see him on the news talking to a news reporter about like defending his client, to be honest, is a piece of shit. But and then you'd see him in class like an hour later, so it was kind of cool. The other thing too is, I didn't ask him, but like my friend, we were kind of asking questions after class, but my friend also asked, and like I was kind of shocked that he would, because I kind of felt like it was personal. But he actually asked my professor, it's like, well, why do you defend, people who are guilty, right? Like, straight to rights. Like, why would you defend like a piece of shit like that? And then he looked at him straight, and he's like, well, he's guilty. My conscience is clear. I try to do the best job as I can, but if I fail, no sweat off my back. The only time I lose sleep is when I'm defending someone I know is innocent, right? And that's that's where being a defense lawyer actually works out. But yeah, identity part 1 done. I will see you next week. Where I blah, blah, see, and I've got time to make those mistakes, and I won't re-record because I've got plenty of time since I'm breaking it up into parts. And the next part will be jurisdiction, which I will talk to you next week, next Saturday. So I'll see you then. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed this one.